Yo, what's going on, Fragrance family? It's your man Gator, better known as the Novice Nose out here in these fragrance streets. And today I wanted to come to you with the review on a fragrance that, well, the whole line of this particular fragrance has been getting hyped up here in the last, I'd say maybe 6 months. So Paris Corner released their North Stag Expressions line. It had 4 different scents, fragrances in that particular line, and they named them by number: Trois, and Quatre. So the last review that I did, I actually posted about Quatre. So Quatre, North Stag's Expressions is the name of the line from Paris Corner, and it is Quatre is the clone for Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim. And I completely dig that particular clone. Make sure you go and check out that review that I did of that particular one. Man, it's a citrus bomb. It's nice, fresh, it's very uplifting, right? So North Stag kind of kept up with this whole Louis Vuitton clone thing with the one that I'm about to review today, which is Trois. Now, there, like I said, 4 of them that are out there. There's the Louis Vuitton clones, there is the PDM Layton clone, and then there again is the which is the Bulgari Tigar clone, which is the only one again that I don't own because, you know, fuck Tigar. But I'm not even going to go into the boxes and all that kind of stuff today when I talk about this particular fragrance. This is the bottle for the North Stag Expressions Trois. And they actually have Trois written on here, right? If I get this thing to focus here. So this is the Trois. So Trois is their Louis Vuitton Imagination clone, right? So if you're familiar with the fragrance of Imagination, you know that in the niche circles, that one is almost like the holy grail right now. It is the perfect, quote unquote, from some other reviewers, spring and summer scent. I mean, that one has ginger as a really fresh note in there, citron. It's got your ambroxan. It's really nice scent. Only thing is, Louis Vuitton stuff is way overpriced, in my opinion, right? Because I'll put it like this: the Afternoon Swim clone, as good as it is, or should I say, the Afternoon Swim, as good as Afternoon Swim is, I could deal with the clone because I would rather pay $50 for the clone as opposed to pay $350 for the actual fragrance. But I digress. Getting back to this. So this is the bottle. Of course, it's a frosted green for the North Stag Trois. The expressions on the back. It has the, let me see if it'll focus here. Here we go. On the back, it has really intricate design, and of course, all of them have this little, what they call a jewel, but it's actually like a beveled mirror here. So, I actually like it. I actually dig it. I know a lot of people think it's gaudy and corny, but I actually like it. So, you hear about the fragrance, right? So, this particular fragrance, as I said, is inspired by from Louis Vuitton's Imagination. And I say inspired by because it does a few things slightly different, right? So the ginger note is a little bit different in this one, but it does give kind of the same vibe of that Imagination. If I was to rank which one how close they are, I would say this is probably around that 7.5 to 8 as far as the closeness to the OG in this particular scenario. But 8 is enough, man. If you smell this stuff, I'm going to kind of put a little waste a few sprays for you. Oh man, let me tell you something. So I mentioned with that Afternoon Swim clone, the Quatre, how it makes you feel good and how it's an invigorating scent, that citrus bomb. This one has the citrus in it, but it's the ginger that is the superstar in this, right? When you spray that, like I just did right now, you get this invigorating ginger. I mean, it is a beautiful beautiful, juicy type of citron that goes with it as well, and that's Sicilian orange. And let me get to the notes, by the way. So it has the same notes as your Louis Vuitton Imagination does, and it's the citron, Calabrian bergamot, Sicilian orange, and in the mid it has Tunisian neroli, Nigerian ginger, and cinnamon. Now, I don't know the difference between regular ginger, Indian ginger, and Nigerian ginger all that much. As I said, I'm a novice nose, not completely an expert on the gingers out there. But I do know that whatever ginger they're using here, it is a nice, fresh, uplifting ginger. It gives a nice little pepperiness to this particular fragrance. Of course, it has Chinese black tea, ambroxan, olibanum, and gaiac wood. So, I mean, you'll pick up the gaiac wood in the end. You don't pick up a lot of wood in this particular thing until you get kind of far into the dry now. You do pick up some of the tea. And I think that's what actually makes this fragrance the original Imagination so great, and what makes this one stand out as well, is that you get that initial pop and that initial spritz and that invigoration from the ginger, and then it just kind of works into this calmness, right, that tea brings into it, right? The ambroxan brings a little bit of the freshness in when that tea is coming in, and so it transitions really smoothly into a invigorating yet calming concoction here. So I love it, man. This is something, now I've got to put it on my hands because I'm talking about it, right? But what I will say about this particular fragrance is that, just like the OG, it's not the most stellar when it comes to performance, right? So I will say, now I've worn this a few times now, I will say that being out and about, you definitely pick it up over the first couple of hours that you're wearing it, right? I would say that projection is probably about 2 to 3 feet off of you, right? Sillage is pretty good, at least for the first 3 hours. But just like the Quatre, the afternoon swim clone, I get about 4 to 5 hours of performance out of this thing as far as projection and sillage, right? It does last as a skin scent probably until about the 6 and 7 hour mark, but you don't really expect a lot more from something that's super fresh. So keep that in mind. When you have something that has that freshness and that is going to be pushing off of your skin, you don't expect a whole lot more. I said about the afternoon swim clone, the Quatre, that it is kind of an extrait de parfum in name. Same thing with this. This is an extrait de parfum in name. However, I will say that it does push and does hold on your skin a little bit longer than the Quatre does, the afternoon swim clone. This one actually performs a little bit better, and I think part of the reason why is because unlike the Quatre, which is mostly citrus, that's really what you're getting. You're getting a push of citrus. This one has a more unique, more in-depth scent profile to it. I mean, they're using a lot more ingredients, a lot more notes. You're using gaiac wood, for example, in the back. You're using Chinese tea. So it's a lot more there, and it develops into something. It's not quite as linear as that Quatre is, and I think that's what makes this one so beautiful. If I was to say, now initially, when I first ranked, which ones I would, which was my favorite, I initially said the Quatre. But after I've had a chance to wear this one, and also wear the Deux, but mostly wear this one, I really think this is probably my favorite one. That ginger note really does something for this particular fragrance. It really is an invigorating scent, right? I would say definitely get your hands on this, man. Get your nose on it. I mean, it's going to be hard to find a decant of it because it's cheap, right? So quality-wise, yes, you do. It lacks a little bit, just a little bit of the quality that you would have in the Louis Vuitton, but to be completely honest, $300 more the quality difference isn't worth $300 more. As a matter of fact, the quality difference ain't really worth $50 more. It is a really good clone. Now, I give it the 80% because, as I said, the quality, an 80% clone or something, because it does kind of move in a little bit of a different direction. You don't get as much tea. You do get tea, but you don't get as much as you do in the Louis Vuitton Imagination. So it does have a little bit of a move in it, but you do get the ambroxan here, a little bit more ambroxan than you do tea. So there is, as far as like the ranking of the closeness to the OG, around 80. I might even give an 85, possibly. But as far as the fragrance itself and judging how good that is, I gotta give it at least an 8, 8.5, and it can also border up to a 9. The other thing about this one is that in warm weather, it definitely performs, it definitely pushes out, so it is the perfect scent if you're deciding you want to go out and spray it all over you for the summer, right? So I gotta say, as far as the baby goes, Bay loves it. She loves the pop that it gives, the spiciness that it gives. And this is a big compliment getter. When I wore this the other day, I literally, within the first 3 hours of me wearing it, probably, it was maybe 2 or 3 people were like, hey man, what is that you're wearing? And most of them were literally like walking by me or right behind me. I had a young lady actually was right behind me when I was walking into Walmart, and she's like, excuse me, you smell good. I just gotta tell you, babe, you smell good. And I'm like, hey, you know, it'll do it, man. It'll definitely do it. So before I get out of here, man, I just to say, make sure you put your hands on this thing. You can find it on Amazon right now for about 60, 61. A lot of the other discounters have them for around the same price that you can find, I think, on Aroma Concepts for around 40 or so. So just make sure you put your hands on it, man. And before you get out of here, man, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and click the notification button so you know when I'm bringing you some freshness like I'm bringing today. So until next time, man, make sure you get your hands on this, and peace out. Later.